What's got a history of slavery, Scientology, and stuffed animals? That's right, it's Neopets. Today we're checking out Neopets, a classic website originally created in 1997 that's now in the hands of Jumpstart of Math Blaster fame. I used to play a plethora of these games on the site, and since it still seems to be alive, I was kind of wondering if they still hold up. Let's slide down the Bunny hole and find out. I'm Demoblah, and welcome to Flash Friday. Okay, so let's just say some things didn't quite go as planned. Originally I was going to sign up, have a scoot around, play some Flash games. But instead what kind of happened was I started the sign up, ended up airing out on the account security steps, rooted through the source code of the page, realized that all the client-side validations were fine, and the errors coming from server-side. Then kind of felt bad for myself and quit. Then came back and just kind of spammed the next button, and then it worked and let me in. But yeah, it turns out that's not all, because after I made Jimmy Jub Jub, my Jub Jub Jimmy, I went to the games area to, check out some games, and this is what I come across. There's no games. There wasn't any games, because it turns out they freaking put the games behind an ad wall. There's a mandatory ad wall that hides the freaking games. So, I turn off my ad blocker, and the website is just ads. Like, look at this mess. It's all ads. There's ads layered upon ads. You literally can't see ads because there's so many ads. And it turns out all these ads just take the perf of all the games I was playing. So I ended up going into the network trace to look up the URIs to make an exception for the ad blocker. But it turns out there's so many ads, I couldn't figure out which URI to do. I ended up going through the source code for the page, found out that the adblock games were inside of an iframe, which is bad security practice, but they're in an iframe, and I could scrape out the URL from the iframe and put it into the address bar to get a game page that just had one mandatory ad instead of the whole page of ads. But yeah, this was a hot mess, just trying to get some games. And honestly, I can't recommend the site to people if the experience is so broken. I did manage to figure out that if I used Edge's in-private browsing, though, I think the in-browser ad blocking for the in-private browsing seemed to block enough of the ads where all I got was the mandatory ad, and then of course I had to turn on Flash so I could play the games. So yeah, super rough start, but this is a series about Flash games, not development. So here is a vague attempt at summarizing a majority of the more than 450 games hosted on the Neopets site, and I've categorized them just to keep some semblance of sanity for both you, the dear viewer, and me. So let's get started with classic games. Neo Style, Mirka Chase, it's Snake that doesn't work. Sutek's Tomb, Bejeweled with a lot more rocks. Web of Verdax, something Bug Snacks. Cloud Racer's Eye, Snake but with waifus. Zero Ball, predecessor to Messenger Soccer. Cowjaw, look ma, I can match. Kiko Match 2, look ma, I can match. Juice Break, it's the pipes game but with angry squirrels. Chia Bomber, Bomberman but somehow more depressing. Rudoku, Sudoku but rude. Toy Box Escape, Lemmings but with less suicide. Swarm the Bugs, Space Invaders but buggier. Get it? Flycatcher, Centipede Neopet style. Typing Terror, not quite Navis Beacon. Techo Says, Simon Says, but annoying. Time Tunnel, Mastermind, but rounder. Shenku Tangram, 10-gram puzzles, but I didn't read the instructions, so Legends of Pinball. No legends, just pinball. Slorgs in Space. It was a surprise Zuma clone, but look at how happy the Slorgs are. Cold War Tactics. Western Cowboy Battleship? From the classics, we got Games to Make You Smart, Extreme Potato, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Spell or Starve? I starved. Imperial Exam, Sort the Court, but education style? Word Poker, it's like poker, but if you never won. Defender Trainer, surprise from the name, but it's a quiz show. Princess Lunara, it's also a quiz show, but with capitalism. Eliv Thade, it's an anagram for evil death, and that's pretty accurate. Math's Nightmare, counting sheep on hard mode. Spellseeker, it starts off pretty fine, and then it kind of overstays its welcome. Word Pyramid, feels like word Tetris, and then it just kind of keeps going. Chemistry, it's actually really neat into like molecules and stuff. Highly recommend that one. And now, for things that we can't recommend, we're in the majority of the games, bad and kinda meh games. Cast Basher, more like Bass Casher. Yeah, it's just Sad Seal Clubber, but with less seal clubbing. Fashion Fever, Barbie, but Neopets. Splatasloth, it sucks a lot. Ice Cream Machine, Bullet Hell, but you're on a diet. Bullseye 2, more like Bull Crap 2. Doubloon Disaster, they suddenly added production value to everything except the game. Freaky Factory, nothing makes sense, but we're kind of pooping out toys. Terror Attack, terrifying pterodactyls and a turdy T-Rex. Wingo Ball, if Pool had gnomes. Top Chop, please stop. Crisis Courier, scrolling runner but with more color. National Neopian, it's just capitalism. Extreme Herder, Boy Who Cried Wolf, Neopet style. Revel Roundup, literally the worst bits of every RPG fetch quest. Dodgeball, you dodge balls, but emo style? Buzzer Game, Operation, but more depressing. Volcano Run 2, it's just Flappy Bird. Walkie Wobble, sometimes it wibbles, all times it wobbles. Castle Escape, it's like Mario with swords. Caves and Corridors, if Spelunky was sad and had way too many vines. Pet Sitter, drowning in responsibility, The Sin. Space Rocked, it's a launcher game, but somehow doesn't make as much sense. Pet Rescue, if Frogger was a fetch quest. Pet Cannonball, Pet Abuse, the game. Let It Slide, Mario but slippery. Shenku Warrior, it's a grapple game except it stopped letting me aim. Darblat, it's Splatasloth yet somehow worse than Splatasloth. Hero Heist, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but with more murder. Rink Runner, figure skating with no safety regulations. Ugga Smash, Bumper Cars, the game. Kiko Racing, river tubing with robo controls. Snot Splatter, chain reaction game, but makes you want to shower afterwards. Garage Sale, literally a mover's worst nightmare. Usuki Frenzy, it's literally the awful fetch quest game from before, but somehow feels way worse. Boss Battle, if Asteroids was impossible to play. Jolly Jugglers, promising platformer that somehow just kinda falls flat. Bumble Beams, Plinko, but with animals. Stowaway String, it's like Paint the Blocks, but like kinda different. Hannah Adventure, Barbie fashion with purpose. Breakaway, weird looping fetch quest game thing. Piper Panic, you're a snake and you're shy. Tunnel Tumble, it's dodgeball, but high. Casalin Caper, puzzle game with statues, it kind of controls a little funny. Eye of the Storm, it's like Minesweeper, but dumbified. Marble Men Attack, a puzzle game that kind of lost its marbles. Usul Suspects, A babysitter shoots flying children. 200-meter peanut dash. It starts out cute until you realize the doggo doesn't always jump. Biscuit Brigade. If tower defense was DIY. Dice of Destiny. It's dice gambling, but for kids. Skies over Meridel. It's like super confusing dogfighting. Dueling decks. You think it's Hearthstone, but then it's just war. Magic's 2. Honestly, I can't even imagine a 1. Ready to roll. Fun, unique concept, but super broken. Berry Bash. It's not quite Papa's Pizzeria. Chef Academy. It's like more Papa's Pizzeria, but still not quite Papa's Pizzeria. But bonus! Bad Shooting Gallery bonus round! Snowball Fight. Shooting gallery with less death. Itchy Invasion. Lice shooting simulator. Smug Bug Smite. You smite smug bug smite. You smite smug bugs. TNT Smasher. HR Violations. The game. Ghost Bopper. Belongs in the graveyard because it literally doesn't work. Evil Fuzzles. Stressful shooting gallery with upgrades. Attack of Revenge. Shooting gallery with depth. Adverts Attack. Shooting gallery, but horse racing style? Okay, we've made it through the rough stuff. Now it's all that's left. It's the rest. Termac Roll. If the Chrome Dino game had launch physics. Hassy Bounce. Surprisingly, it's like a pretty good trapezing duo game. Snow Muncher. A somewhat bizarre match-em mining adventure? Fairy Bubbles. Shoot the bubbles, hope they match. Destructo Match. Match 'em up, but for some reason mildly ominous? Beach Volleyball. Really great with friends, but super sad alone. Fairy Caves. Surprisingly good puzzles, but you gotta realize, which way is down. Moodix Drop. Really satisfying parachute game until you miss the landing. Wharf Rescue. Stupid but delightful game of stacking puppers to save cats. Gad's Game. Tetris but with match-em mechanics. Snow Wars. Surprisingly good Tetris-y defender shooter game. Tyrannian Gold. It's like mini golf but kinda weird but interesting. Sophie Stew. Feed the stew or feed the cat? Really hard to decide. Meepit vs. Feepit. Tekken Neopets style. Also, you can fight a literal poop. Super Bounce. It's like if Prison Break had fun trapezing elements. Goparoko. It's match-em, but square. Creludor Escape. Surprisingly satisfying turn-based puzzle game with rockets and asteroids. Carnival Terror. Shooting gallery, but it's actually good. Hot Dog Hero. Squirt your juices to draw some platforms. Rock Rampage. The Zelda rock puzzle combined with a shooter. Surprisingly good. Jubble Bubble. You're a turtle making bubbles to save your jubbles. Deckball. Before Carball became an esport, there was Deckball. Edna's Shadow. Interesting puzzle game with a mirrored player component. Wheeler's Ride. It's pretty much Happy Wheels. Spinnacles. Bubble matching but with spinning physics. Super fun. Snacrifice. Animal Sacrifice? The game? Gotta recommend it because the premise is bizarre. Pet Plunge. Putt but no holes, just collectibles. Tug-of-war. Button mash galore. Mop and Bop. You bop 'em with a mop. Jumpin' Gem Heist. Really unique take on the catching style minigames. Lost City Lanes. Wii Bowling wishes it had this much swag. Attack of the Gummy Dice. An actually incredibly compelling isometric match-em-up game. Whew. Well, that was all the games I had the mental fortitude to play. This whole experience was really weird and not what I expected, and I am not sure if I can recommend the Neopets site to anyone currently. Maybe the new mobile and beta version will be way better once it all gets figured out. But Either way, I'll shove the links down in the description below for you to check out. If you're interested in checking out any of the games, you don't even have to log in to play most of the games. So, hopefully, you can get some joy out of my pain. As always, I hope life treats you swell. Toodles!